Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. Imagine a movie like John Wick, but set on a plane and made with a smaller budget. That's the new film Fight or Flight. It's in theaters and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. Josh Hartnett hasn't led an action movie in years, but you would never know that with the ease and the force that he brings to Fight or Flight. He plays Lucas Reyes, a former Secret Service agent who's been hiding out, living off the grid in Bangkok. He seems to really be running from his former life, and that is until federal agent Catherine Brunt, who's played by Katee Sackhoff, makes him an offer that he can't pass up. He's tasked to join a flight from Bangkok to San Francisco to track down a black hat assassin known only as the Ghost. Now, he's not the only trained deadly assassin on this flight, as there are multiple countries that have a bounty out on the Ghost. It's a plane full of mercenaries, all trying to capture the asset. The film also stars Charithra Chandran as Aisha, a flight attendant who gets caught up in all this mess. Fight or Flight is a directorial debut for James Madigan, who previously worked on the visual effects department on many massive blockbuster films. The film marks a big entry for him and co-writers Brooks McLaren and DJ Catrona, as this is their first big film together as well. Now, the final product is a bit rough around the edges, especially when you think about a high-concept action flick like this that usually comes with a bigger budget to really kind of smooth out the special effects, finalize those long action sequences, and just the overall production schedule. Now, once you put all that aside, you can see how Josh Hartnett really is elevating this material every step of the way. He's created a fully fledged character that I think would have felt a little bit more basic under a different actor. It's really great to see Hartnett, let loose and be a bit crazed the further that Lucas finds himself trying to stay alive. The film opens with this brief snapshot of the climax with Strauss's The Blue Danube playing over it. Now, that music may sound familiar if you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. It then cuts back just 12 hours, really tracing how Lucas Reyes found himself aboard this kind of ticking time bomb of a crazy flight. The movie works best during the long action scenes that feature very choreographed martial arts sequences, all within the confines of the plane. Yeah, anything on board becomes a weapon, leading to some bloody showdowns. Now, it becomes somewhat cartoony, but I think that's really where the creativity comes into play. I think that it would have been better served had it been amped up the entire time. The screenplay reveals Ghost's identity early on with their motivations, and then there are future twists that ultimately just don't really feel all that necessary. There are ulterior motives for their supporting characters. It all felt a bit kind of like a hodgepodge of ideas that don't really come together. I think that it would have worked better had it just leaned into the style instead of forcing depth into the story. I think it's trying to be more serious than it needs to be, and I feel odd saying that. With Trap and Fight or Flight, Josh Hartnett really reminds us that he can add some wild, crazed attitude to any character to make the most out of the material. He's created a strong character, and I think that a sequel with a bigger budget may even work better. I'm giving Fight or Flight 2.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I was doing movie reviews, and I got to interview Josh Hartnett. So here's talk about making this film, what it was like leading a big action sequences at this stage of his career, learning that stunt choreography, and we've got some Minnesota ties, so it's great always talking to him. Follow me across social media at Paul's Movie Trip, and then go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for even more reviews. Thank you so much for watching my review of Fight or Flight. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.